Welcome to No Room for Phonies, episode 153.
Today's topic is grounded financial habits.
So let's be honest, most people don't fail at money because they don't know what to do.
They fail because knowing and doing are not the same thing, especially when life is busy and Amazon is just a click away.
Yes. So today we're not talking about big financial dreams or dramatic overhauls.
We're talking about grounded financial habits, the small, repeatable decisions that quietly do the heavy lifting.
How goals become daily behavior.
And why systems matter more than motivation.
And how consistency, not perfection, actually builds freedom over time.
This is about making money decisions that work in real life, not just on paper.
So the first one is to set clear financial goals and to really think about what your core values are.
And if you're a couple or with a partner, you kind of need to hammer some of these out and find
together
out the common ground, because there'll be fringe ideas that are different. But.
Well, and this is easy where you can say you start with the big picture. What do you want your life together to be like? And then it does suggest that you make your goals smart, specific and measurable and achievable and relevant and time bound, and that you write them down
and then
and prioritize them.
Yeah. So if you break the big goals into small, manageable milestones, then it's easier to handle.
And at the beginning, you might want to revisit them like a lot, like daily, and then you move to more like weekly and then monthly.
Yeah.
But definitely at least monthly.
For the goals and the values. Yep, absolutely. Next, you create and follow a budget with clear monthly spending boundaries. So you calculate your income and add up your expenses, and then you refer to your financial goals when you're budgeting.
And then they have these methods, the 50, 30, 20, which is 50 to needs, 30 to wants, and 20 to savings and debt percentage.
Yep. And or zero-based budgeting, every dollar has a function.
Yeah. So there's nothing left.
There's nothing
it's zero
left.
at the bottom. And again, that whole idea of tracking and reviewing and adjusting and being flexible.
Yeah. And one thing we did, even when we had one income and a lot of expenses, we still built an emergency fund.
Yes. And so that's the third one. Decide how much, what it's for, clear parameters. So i.e. buying furniture, taking a trip is not an emergency.
No. Car repair.
Yeah.
Something.
And then you can have automatic withdrawal of that money, automatically sending it, even if it's a small amount monthly, and using a high yield savings or a money market account for it.
To earn some interest. And then you want to leverage your windfalls and your bonuses.
Like tax refunds and gifts and rebates and stuff. And cut expenses to save more. So I remember when we had two houses, right? When we
had to bridge the mortgage?
Yeah. And we stopped eating out. We got rid of subscriptions. We weren't doing shopping.
We just shopped for food.
Yeah.
And we thrifted for
and
clothes.
Anything we thought we needed, we just gave it a 30-day waiting period.
Yeah. Fourth is to pay off debt. So you track and celebrate the small wins. Debt is not normal, but if you've accumulated it or if it's had to be accumulated, then you just start hammering away at it.
And if you have a set budget, your debt should be part of that budget. And I just remember when we were first and we had school debt and other kinds of debt, that it was part of our budget. And so there's some methods. There's the avalanche method where you pay off the highest interest first.
Or the snowball method where you start with the smallest balance, and then when you got used to paying that out, so then you get to the next balance, you use what you were used to paying off on the snowball, and then the amount gets bigger and bigger.
Yeah. And you can also consolidate debt, move high interest to low interest, you can talk to a credit counselor or your financial advisor, and it's all about changing your habits as far as debt. And I remember there was a credit card that had 0% financing, and we did that for a while.
Yep.
Where we put a bunch of things on
to it
until we had one financial advisor who did not really support us in paying off debt. And if you get with a financial advisor who's not encouraging you to pay off debt, find somebody
else.
to
Fire that person, move on. Number 6 is to live. 5. Oh, did I skip one?
Sorry, yep.
Okay. Invest consistently. So set up recurring payments and automate your savings.
Invest a set dollar amount, even if it evens out over time at regular intervals. So start early and stay patient, diversify, invest via workplace plans, and review it regularly, not constantly.
That's because the market goes up
and down, and you'll get very discouraged.
Yeah, especially on the downturns. Live below your means is the 6th main strategy. So check for lifestyle creep.
Do you know what that is?
That's when you start spending a little more each time because you feel, the wants become needs slowly.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you just all of a sudden you're going to fancier restaurants and you're doing more all of a sudden your lifestyle has crept into this place where you're not living within your means.
And the credit card isn't coming down.
Because credit cards are not for everyday purchases, and be aware of what you spend every day. So there's all these different ways. Know your income, which shockingly some people don't.
I know.
Track your spending and expenses, create a plan, spend less than you make, increase your income when you can.
Side hustles or whatever. Build an emergency fund, build sinking funds, and save up for purchases. So break down the cost into small chunks and start saving early for it.
Like I do this, like when I go to the car to get my oil change, and he'll say, oh, in 3 months, you're going to need a brake job.
Right.
I ask him what he estimates that is going to be. I bump it up and I save for that.
And then you take a little chunk out of every pay towards that.
And then when I go to do it, I just pay it.
Yeah. And it doesn't hurt.
I mean, I put it on my credit card for points, but I come home and pay it off.
Yeah. Don't rely on credit cards, and check your credit score for sure, but just be careful how many credit cards. And then if you start having credit cards that are associated with stores, like we had different furniture credit cards and hardware store credit cards, those tend to be very high interest, and very easily you forget to make a payment, and then you get dinged with interest.
And then decrease your living expenses and automate your savings, and don't compare yourself to others. Whatever your neighbors do, just let them do it.
Do your own thing. Find appropriate housing.
How being house poor is a thing.
It's a thing. Well, and right now,
it's easy to go, we just upped our income, so let's get a bigger house, or let's do this. Yeah. And I think sometimes you just need to be careful with that.
Yeah. Embrace secondhand items.
Yeah.
Yep. Except for couches that have the springs poking through.
Yeah. Negotiate with service providers. We don't do that really enough in our culture, I don't think.
No, we just kind of take it at face value. I mean, we would get 3 different quotes and kind of then go with the middle.
Yeah. But create a gap between what you want to purchase and the actual purchasing of it. And just look for ways to save money and align your spending with your values. It keeps going back to that. And then the 7th habit is to track your spending by checking account balances and keeping organized receipts.
Which is easier digitally now than before, but so keep all your paper receipts.
And you can very easily do all as you go spending with a spreadsheet.
True enough. And and now there's apps that are on your phone. You take a picture of the receipt, and it goes and it reads it and figures out which category to put it in. And then you can double check that it's the right category, etc.
So you just have to find something.
Keep an account book or a spreadsheet, something.
And then there's envelopes, a log of financial emergencies where you've gone outside your budget, so you can look at things. The apps, like you're talking, a spreadsheet, like I was talking. Regularly looking at things, choosing.
Set up your credit card your bank to notify you for everything, so you get texts or emails.
The popular tools and methods for tracking spending are the envelope system, where things are in an envelope, whether that's digital or real.
Bank connectivity,
where
everything
just goes, and mobile receipt scanning, which is what you were saying, and then just simple tracking, and work with your partner to be accountable for some of this stuff.
The 8th strategy is to build a donation habit, especially if you're in a country where your donations count towards tax credits.
Yeah. So make a direct, because you want to, does give you the opportunity to make a direct impact and get connected with your community and support a cause that you believe in.
And it's part of your values. It fosters a sense of purpose and happiness, and it helps the vulnerable.
And you're setting an example, you're strengthening your community, you're cashing in on some tax advantages.
So it's important to budget for donations as well.
And complete annual or monthly donations based on your own values and experiences. We donate regularly to St. Joseph's Hospital because of the experience that you had there. And I also donate regularly to Women's Place, as well as to educational kinds of things that go directly to kids. Focus on gratitude and do something positive and optimistic by doing that.
9th strategy, which we've talked about because we've interviewed our own, is to check in regularly with your financial planner and to talk about finances regularly with your partner or with someone you trust if you are single.
So straight talk about money increases your financial success, especially talk about retirement investments. That's a really key one, unless you are a government employee and you have that kind of a guarantee, but most people don't.
Yeah, and you can avoid and solve problems by talking about the problems.
And if you are stressed about money, then you definitely should talk about it, because you can get some empathy and some understanding and some solutions. My advice for people when they're younger than us is to just kind of breathe, have some good financial habits, but then breathe, because it works out. If you're not being crazy, it works out.
The other thing, it's not in our notes here, but I guess it will come down to it. I'll go. So sorry. And
you will get some valuable
insights and advice,
and you're more likely to follow through on your plans if you have somebody to be accountable to.
Yeah. And you need to be on the same page as your spouse or partner, for sure.
Yeah, that's a big discussion to have.
Remember that one book we read before we got married, Money, Sex, and Power. Those 3 things are what break marriages up. So here's the money one.
You can talk about your salary with your employer, and you can ask for a raise, except for public employees. Yeah. We're pretty stuck because of unions.
Yeah. Talk about finances with your children and help them understand saving and spending from a very young age. And this is where I wanted to talk about, we didn't have great role models in either of our parents' sets for different reasons. My parents, it was always thinking that you didn't have enough, and your family,
my mom just
didn't track what they spent very well. No. So when we got married, we looked at our family's habits and chose to be different. From them and more balanced.
Well, basically. And I think it has played out differently in both of our kids, but the idea of instant gratification and not just buying them something everywhere we went.
They go. It's that whole wait for an hour to see if you really want it, and wait for 5 hours, wait for 2 days. Whatever. And
this is your money, and you have $10, you can spend 3, save 3.
Yeah.
And whatever.
Plan to give some to buy a present for somebody else, and then save some. Yeah.
But anyway, your children need to understand also your estate planning and your will.
And older people have lots of experience with money. Some of them not always great, but debt and life. So that might really help you so you could look to a wise older person who seems to have done well with the money. But then on the other hand, talking to some older listeners, be careful of younger people in your life committing elderly abuse and playing into codependence and draining your bank.
Yeah, it's true. Very true. That's why you do need to be talking about it and have a partner, right?
And if you're widowed or alone, divorced, whatever, you definitely
get a financial advisor.
Yeah, you need to have somebody to talk to when your kids come knocking for you.
And it should not be a relative.
No, it needs to be somebody impartial.
Or a friend, really.
Yeah.
It's good to get outside of where nobody knows the story, and they can just help you make good financial planning stuff without that little edge of your family situation.
So obviously, we're thinking of several people that have been hurt this way.
Yeah, very badly hurt this way.
Regularly check. Oh, I already said this, but go ahead.
Your credit score.
Yeah, I mentioned it quickly before, but I didn't get into the details
because it really, you need to check in every year, and you need to try to improve your credit rating, and you do need to make sure you're not being the victim of identity theft.
Yep.
And you need to
change your passwords.
Make sure that your data is not compromised, and always check in if you plan to apply for some kind of credit.
Mm-hmm.
And if you've moved, to ensure that you've canceled utilities or you're not missing a payment, you can check in with your credit check. Right. And definitely if you're separating or getting a divorce,
you need to really check your
credit score. Okay. So motivation plus ability plus a prompt equals a habit.
Can you explain that, like with an example?
If you are motivated to look after your finances, you want to have financial freedom.
And you have the ability to.
And then you go and look and learn, get some financial literacy, get a financial advisor, and then you do something like write in your daily plan or have something on your phone come up that says, have you done this?
Right.
Like you could have monthly
little alarms on
your phone to make sure that you're checking on things regularly.
And then it'll be a habit.
Then it's a habit, because habits are behaviors that are regularly repeated and tend to occur unconsciously.
So for phase one of developing habits
it's unbearable. So I'm there thinking of like exercise programs or other things, but you have to be prepared.
Well, but sometimes walking away from buying something you want is it's hard for the first.
Yeah.
This says 10 days. I'm going to say 10 weeks.
Be prepared, because it's temporary, and anticipate that initial discomfort of going, hey, this is beyond our means. We can't do this. We have to not do this right now.
The second phase is days 11 to 20, and it's still uncomfortable.
And then phase 3, once you get to day 21 to 30, that's when it becomes unstoppable, and there's a transformation, and it becomes part of your identity. And I mean, I think it's all gradual, but I thought this was kind of a cool thing to look at.
I've heard that it takes 21 days to create a habit, but I like this, that from 21 to 30, you build, it becomes
like it's 30 days. Yeah. So anyway, on February 15th, we're going to do the topic Real Men Talk.
Yes, we do.
And not just about sports.
Definitely not just about sports.
So join us for that. And if there's one thing that we hope you take away from today, is that financial habits don't have to be extreme to be effective. I think.
Remember our first few months when I had that card box and all the receipts were going in, and then you would not bring a receipt home and we would have a fight. That was a little extreme. And it just has to be about like living within a lot of it is just living within your means, but having all these little habits that help you live within your means. The habits just have to be designed to survive real life. Fatigue, distraction, curveballs, and the occasional bad decision as well.
Progress comes from clarity, repetition, and a willingness to look at your numbers without panic or avoidance.
Avoidance. That's my problem. And from building systems that support you on ordinary days, not just your most disciplined ones.
These habits aren't about restriction, they're about alignment.
And making sure your money reflects what really matters to you.
If this conversation sparked ideas or resistance, that's usually a good sign. If you're mad at us, that might be a good sign too.
Sit with it. Try one small change and see what happens.
And thanks for spending your time with us. Please subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, or wherever you follow podcasts.
And remember, there's no room for phonies.
Especially in your finances.